Good morning, welcome back to our Portuguese homestead. So this morning, after I've walked up and down about a dozen times, I want to tackle this corner of the garden. This is where we had the potatoes in the spring. That didn't go super well, as you saw, because we had a lot of rain at a moment that we didn't expect it. Anyway, next year I want to do something there, like a grain, so sorghum, amaranth, that kind of thing, just because I can sow that a little bit later, and then yeah, I don't have to worry about it being flooded or anything. But before we do that, I want to do a couple things over here. I want to do another, as an experiment, another patch of potatoes. But this time I don't want to bury anything, so I'm just going to use all the straw that we have used here before. And I'm going to make one pile. I'm just going to lay some potatoes on the ground, put some straw on them, and then see how that goes. It's a little bit of an experiment, but yeah, I think we have some more time before the frost will hit, so why not try? But that's only gonna be maybe a quarter of this area, so I want to do something else with it as well, namely cover cropping. This is clover, and clover is a nitrogen fixer, so I'm thinking if we sow that now, it can fix nitrogen over the winter, and then we can sow the grain there next spring. Yeah, that's it basically. It's gonna be a little bit of hard labor. I'm hoping Bo doesn't wake up before I'm finished. Probably he will. But for now, I think I'll start with the potatoes.
Naar beneden, toch?
Ja, dan moet je dingen ook niet in die zak houden.
Ja.
Ja?
Ja, dat is ongeveer zoals we het de vorige keer deden.
Het spijt me.
Nee, het is goed hoor, maar
Het is nog lekker een beetje speels.
als je goed in de gaten kan houden of het allemaal opkomt. Ja, dat is inderdaad wel een kern.
Dat gewoon niet zo goed gooien. Dat
Hartstikke goed.
Ook niet.
Hartstikke goed. Klaar?
Tadaa! allemaal apart? Ja. Oké.
Apart.
Deze mag je allemaal aankijken. Deze moet helemaal daar. Hier moet je opstaan. Kan je hem op jij?
Kijk, doe even planten.
Ik ook.
Nee, ik doe het later nog wel even terug. Okay. Everything's very bright today. So here, this is one of the beds that I cleared, and I mostly cleared this bed. Some random potatoes growing in there. This is where we had the peas, so I'm thinking we should plant something else here now, and then I might do some peas somewhere in here, or maybe not. I haven't decided yet, but it's coming along nicely, I would say. So the cabbages we planted yesterday were from a tray that's now empty. That was the first tray that we sowed. But this tray, for some reason, has kind of bad germination rate. And stuff is getting eaten. So I think I'll have to sow another tray as well today, so that we have enough. This is one of the few melons that we grew. Looks very excited. So it's not very big as you can see, but it smells amazing. So this is our little afternoon snack. Yay! Moet ik hem snijden, Puk?
Ja.
Hier.
Ik heb wat aan. Oh.
Puk, nou loop je de hele tijd over dat bed.
Go.
Ja. Ja. Oké. Dan maken we eerst een rijtje.
Kook.
Hij is wel goed, Puk. Okay, good morning. It's Thursday. It's been a really good week in the garden. I've now done the 3 shorter beds that we have in the garden. I think they're pretty much done. I seeded a couple things yesterday, some more beetroot and some turnips. So these beds are looking good, but now I'm thinking we need more food. So I'm gonna start on the longer beds that we have, and that is gonna mean ripping some things out that are still growing, still doing okay. Some tomatoes. I just wanted to start using this space for winter veggies. So Martin needed to go to the pharmacia and he's gonna pick up some veggies from the local agricultural shop as well. So he's gonna bring some leeks, I saw they just got in, and some more cabbages, just because the trays that I seeded were not doing great. So yeah, we're just gonna buy some. It's no shame in that, I think. Puk. Puk is at home because she's a little sick, but we're just gonna continue getting everything done. So on to the next bed. Yeah. So as you probably know, we have 2 rows of tomatoes. This is the big one, the full one. We're gonna keep that in until the frost really comes, and then this is just a couple tomato plants, some not looking so happy, and then some melons in between, but they're not really doing much anymore, so it's time to take them out. So it's been a couple days. We finished planting everything for the winter. I just was being a bad YouTuber, not filming everything. So let me show you the last couple things that I have planted, or we have planted, and then I'll get to a quick fire round of some of the questions that you asked me in the community post. So, but first, what we planted. So here's a little overview of how all the beds. They're not super clear, I think, but there we are. Here we have the first bed that has mostly brassicas and then turnips in the end. These greens, they're also part of the brassica family. I forget their name, but they're really amazing because I didn't water them all through summer and somehow they're still alive. So they're definitely a good one to save some seeds from. And then there in the back we still have some courgette going, but that will die with the frost. Then here we have just another bed of the cabbages that I put in a couple weeks ago. Over here I seeded some turnips. Here we have some beets. And you just saw me plant these, and so here I'm experimenting whether it's good to start them in a tray and then transplant, or just in this other half I did them from seed. And I'm trying this because I saw that ants are very fond of beet seeds, so I'm trying to test if it really makes a difference. So yeah. Then over here in this bed we have, or this is next to the beets, we have just the red cabbages and the zinnias that are having an excellent time with this weather. Over here, this is the first longer bed. This is where we took out the tomatoes and we changed them out for some leeks that we bought from our local seller. And then here we're just using the beds as they were. And we planted some cauliflower. And then the rest is still just tomatoes doing their thing. We still have some aubergines, some peppers. They're still producing a little bit, so I'm just letting them go. There we have the sorghum. And then over here, I did want to show you, we also have the pumpkins that I already harvested some from, and they're also enjoying this cooler weather because it started producing some more. It started some new leaves as well. And so what I did, because this pumpkin is doing well for us, I decided to rip out all the other ones that were not producing, and that way they can't cross-pollinate, and that means that for this little guy, little lady actually, she won't, I can save the seeds from this and it will be true to this pumpkin. So that's the plan. And then over here we have the potatoes and the fields that we need to finish with the clover. So finally, in the community tab, I asked you guys if you have any questions regarding the garden, what we're doing this winter. And so I want to quickly answer the ones that are related to the garden. All the other ones will come up in future videos. I will keep them in mind to give you some updates on things. But you had some questions, so here we are. A question about storage for the veggies. Right now I'm just using the garden as a kitchen garden. So I pick what I need for the day, and then I'm just letting things, maybe sometimes I'll pick a little bit of extra, but I just keep it in the kitchen. And so my plan for the coming years is not so much to preserve a lot, even though I did have to with the amount of tomatoes that we grew this year. The goal is not so much to preserve a lot, but to mostly eat from the garden directly. So I'm just getting things as I need them, and then letting other things grow. I'm still kind of learning how much we need of things, but that's all part of the process. In the future, once the soil is more productive, we can also have more to preserve. We will be working on a root cellar though this winter, but that's a big project, so I'll keep you posted on that. First, the shed. Quickly, how is your wine going? It's still fermenting, so we're gonna taste it in, I don't know when, sometime in the future. Fertilizers do we use in the garden, and do we add any liquid fertilizing throughout the season? Veggies grow in healthy, rich soil, as we're learning, and so what we do to build that soil is a couple different things. We add manure, that's what we did over winter, and I'm thinking there's still enough in the soil for that we don't really need to add anything. We should get better at composting. We're not so great at it right now, but in the future we will start just dressing the garden with compost. And then throughout the season, before I did some nettle fertilizer, so just let that ferment for a little bit and then dilute it and throw it with the tomatoes and things. And then now I don't have nettles anymore, so I'm gonna do it with chicken poo, and that gives the plants a little bit of an extra boost throughout the season. And then what you saw me do in the beginning of this video, seed the clover. That's also part of fertilizing the garden, because they will fix nitrogen over the winter, and then in the spring we will till that in, and that should really help build the soil and get it up to par to where we want it. So we're gonna do that, see how it goes, and maybe we'll do that every year for some parts, and maybe even in the beds. We could do that. What are you planting for winter? You saw that? You just saw that. It's mostly brassicas. Turnips are also part of the brassica family. So just a couple different things that can that don't mind a little bit of frost, because we do get a little bit of frost, and then that maybe even enjoy the frost and grow well in that sort of climate. We are really blessed with a year-round growing season. I think the only thing I will add now is just some more greens, because they're easy to cook. And let me put the baby down. And they grow really well over winter, so that's the only thing I'm still gonna add later. Winter flowers, I'm not sure actually if you can grow winter flowers. I will look into that. And then finally, how do you manage to get it all done? I battle to get through it all and often feel overwhelmed. I actually do also feel overwhelmed all the time. I talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago. You should remember that it's always the both of us here. Unless Martin is at the shop or something, it's both of us here. And so if I need help, I can ask him for help. And that's one. So I still don't get everything done that I want, because I do set quite high goals for myself. And yeah, ask for help, and just try to be realistic in your goal setting. And then yeah, I get overwhelmed all the time. That's why I didn't film anything of the leeks and stuff, because I was just like trying to get it done. No longer focused on working. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to say today is if like last week you're missing us, if I don't post a video, usually I will post something about it on the community tab here. Most of the time it's nothing, but that we're just too busy to make and edit a video because it is quite a lot of work, and sometimes other things have priority, like last week. So if you're worried, go look there. Thank you for your kind worried messages, but usually it's nothing. But yeah, family always comes first, and that's what was happening last week. So I hope that was a little helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you want to know more about my plan for the garden in the future, I do have a video about it over on Patreon that I posted a couple weeks ago. So if you want to see that, go check us out over there. Yeah, you can find all sorts of links in the video description box down below. Do I forget anything? No. Anywho, I'll see you guys next Sunday.